Alright, so before we get into the video, big shout out to Rocket Warrior because he did make this thumbnail and the last week's thumbnail. So definitely go ahead and subscribe to him because I couldn't make the thumbnail at all. So if I would have made the thumbnail, it would be looking hella ugly. So yeah, big shout out to him, and yeah, let's get right into the video. What is up, YouTube? Scholar Party back from the military. We're doing part 2 of our NBA 2K Mobile Season 3 wish list. So basically, what we're gonna be doing in this video is discussing some gameplay stuff. We only have 5 things on this list. So yeah. So for the first thing is we can't really show this. I tried to get some footage of doing this stuff, but most of the stuff happens in like Domination and Fantasy Finals, it seems. So you can't really trigger. It's harder to trigger it in Domination and Fantasy Finals. So yeah, basically one of the things is the screen tap to pass thing. So basically, when you're calling for a screen, like if you're like in like a 5v5 game, it happens most of the time. Like you're calling for a screen, and then like you the screen button is on top of a player that you're not actually like trying to pass the ball to, obviously. So you're trying to call for a screen, like the big can come over and screen for you, but the player, there's like randomly like a player behind like the screen button. So instead of calling for the screen, it taps the pass to that player, which that player might be contested. That player, like the passing lane might be cut off. It might be like a terrible pass, but yeah, they like to do that where if you're calling for a screen, then the player behind the screen button takes priority over the screen button, which is kind of weird because the screen button is on top. But yeah, that's something that they definitely need to fix going into season 3 because it's very annoying. It messes up like the flow of your offense and it can lead to turnover. So definitely need to fix to make better. Maybe like they should just make like the screen button take priority over, especially with a pass that short. So if you're using like a pass that short, then it's better for you to just tap the pass button instead of like tapping for a player to pass. So I definitely think that they should make the screen button take priority over that. But yeah, the next thing is the forced non-user tipping, which a lot of stuff happens in Domination and Fantasy Finals because it seems like Domination and Fantasy Finals, the difficulty is a lot higher and your players are more likely to do things that they shouldn't be doing. So this basically is just your player, you shoot a shot and then your player gets the offensive, your center, most times your center or your power forward gets the offensive rebound, and then they just put it back up. Like you don't have to actually have to tap anything, you just shoot the ball and then like you could be like not touching the screen at all, it seems, and then your player would just get like, they like to do like these one-handed tip-ins just towards the rim, and then like it misses most of the time, which is most of the reason why it's a huge problem because for some reason like these like 7-footers can't make wide open layups that's like one-hand tip-ins when they're like within like 2 feet of the rim. But yeah, so that's something they need to fix, just offensive rebounds and your player just not doing it. So basically the way they can fix it, I guess, is just if you're shooting, if the center is about to get a center power forward, whoever about to get offensive rebound, basically the way that you can do it is that if you want them to go back up with it, you can just hold the shoot button and they'll just go back up with it. And then you just don't want them to do that. You just not touch anything, and then they just come down with the rebound, and then you can just do whatever you want to do. But yeah, that's basically the way they can fix it, in my opinion. But yeah, it's definitely something they need to fix going into season 3 because that is super annoying, and like it makes like kind of like a wasted possession because your player gets the offensive rebound and then like they just shoot up a missed layup. But yeah, next thing is, which I think that they fixed already. I don't think they told anybody about it though, which is just transition defense, where like if you are on offense, right, and then like they have to come back in and they like take the ball out. So your point guard, which most of the time is that's who they're bringing the ball up with, or whoever it is that's guarding the player to bring the ball up, if you hold defend like the whole time, then your player will back all the way up to the backboard for some reason. I think that they fixed it already though, so you guys might not see it anymore, but your player will back all the way up to the backboard, and then like it doesn't make any sense. Like it gives them a wide open shot, which I don't understand why that was ever a thing, but I think they already fixed it, so that might be not a thing anymore. But yeah, next thing is the forced non-user block attempts and steal. So basically, in the way this happens, again, this is like something that happens usually in Domination and Fantasy Finals. It sometimes happens in head-to-head, but yeah, basically what this happens is where like the player, which I feel like is a tendency for players like with bad defense, which kind of makes sense, but it's really annoying. I feel like they should just like take it out because like if your player just has bad defense, the only really thing that another player should be able to do is just blow by them, and like your player doesn't have that good of a contest. But if your player has like low defense, which this happens a lot with when I'm using James Harden, which I don't know where he is right now, but yeah, when you're using a player with bad defense, it seems like your player will just jump off of pump fakes, or they'll just randomly reach for no reason. If you're just like holding the guard button, you're not actually like trying to make them reach, and then you're just not actually trying to make them go for the block. So I don't know why they do that. Me personally, I know that it's a problem, especially with blocks. I never really go for blocks, particularly on the perimeter. So it's definitely something they like to do, where like the CPU just pump fakes and then your player just jumps up for the block. I don't know why that happens, but it is super annoying because it gives them a wide open lane to the rim. But yeah, it's basically the next thing. And then the last thing I think is the bench players and ref screen. So basically, when this happens is if you're like in the corner, usually in the top right corner, or I guess it happens in the top left corner on the other end. But yeah, what happens is like your players will be like near the bench, and like a ref just randomly like set the screen on them, because like the refs, for some reason, the refs and the bench players are not transparent where like your players can like just walk through them. Instead, your players just charge into them, and instead like it slows down like their home base. That can happen like when they're like off ball, like a ref is just like in down for some reason, and like your player just runs into them. They'll just like it'll be like as if like the ref set the screen, or if like a bench player set the screen. Sometimes happens. Okay, Giannis, can he run the floor? Nope, that's the command there. Let's make the smart decision. Can you get up? The ref literally got in the way, so I couldn't throw it to the air in the corner. That is so cheesy. Oh my god, what the heck was that? Yo, these refs out here cheated, man. They need to stop doing that. Happen like the bench players like are celebrating, they're standing up, and then like your player can just walk into them, and then like it'll be like a whole screen. It'll just like slow down their movement completely. But yeah, that's basically it. Not too many things to fix in the gameplay. Generally, in my opinion, this gameplay is not that bad. But yeah, just a couple things they need to fix in the gameplay to like make it better and make it make more sense. But yeah, that's basically it. I don't really have anything else for the gameplay. Maybe like making like the hard difficulty, like maybe make your players like not that stupid, because it seems like when you're like on a higher power team, particularly, your players will just shoot shots, or they'll not get in positions that they usually would be if you are on the lower difficulty team. But basically, your player will just like do stuff defensively, like not close out. Like if there's like a good 3-point shooter, they're just like getting like a whole bunch of space to like where you're like, even if you're like you're usering, like if you're guarding the on-ball defender, then like your player would just give like everyone else, like the shooters, a whole bunch of space. So I think that's something they could fix if they just look into it a little bit. But yeah, that's basically it. Now comes some other gameplay issues that you guys have with this game. But yeah, if you did enjoy the video, drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new, and peace out.